Hello and welcome back. Today we are continuing our secret strategy, Austria into Rome run, and last episode, we formed Mega Germany, so well on our way to forming the HRE. We need to form the HRE, which is neither Holy nor Roman, before we can switch to a Roman Republic, which is not an empire, but is instead Roman and Holy. And so this is the plan for the run. We are continuing on our way, and this episode, we're going to be going on a rampage.
You good?
Rampage!
Little help?
We started by annexing the Trucial Coast and Nejd, both of whom backed down. We notably can't accrue too much infamy just quite yet, because we are transferring Canada, but when I say rampage, I mean we're going to try and run it up to 1k infamy as fast as possible. Okay, so we have reduced the autonomy of both East India Company and Canada, and we have two wars that we are interested in doing. We are interested in, protectorating. Oh, these guys will no longer be eligible to be protectorate. Oh no, this is like what the entire strategy was about. How do we get these guys weak enough that we can protectorate them? Shoot. I guess we could fight them and take, their highest eco states, since we don't care about infamy anymore. It's not real, it can't hurt us. Except it is a little bit real. We are at 40 infamy, 63 infamy. I think if we kick over, 75, I think then Great Shig will leave the customs union at that point. They're also just kind of fairly likely to leave the customs union anyways. We can absolve the obligation, which will make it so they'll be more likely to stick in for a while longer, but we do have to be a little bit careful on this matter. We are mainly going on a rampage now because we're going to reset the infamy pretty soon here, and we are also going to lose all of our subjects, so we are pretty keen on annexing them. I guess maybe we semi-chill here, because we do have a little bit of a decay going, or we have to wait 5 years before we can annex the EIC in Canada and Australia, and I guess we'll look to do kind of a chain through them. We're also improving relations with them and bankrolling all these guys to get it so that we can federate them, so we can make easier work, and then we will want to go after the CSA, which is 54 infamy, which will kick us over 100, so we will have a bit of a, a tasty war, but, shout out to German Ireland, though. Alright, we're slightly adjusting the rampage plan, which is that we are going to try and keep the infamy under 100 for a little bit of time, and also try and figure out a way to decay the United Netherlands into being a minor power. Right now, they're actually decaying into minor power because their prestige is 223, and if they decay under 225 for an extended period of time, then they will, stay minor power. And the way this is calculated, is based off of, a rank that is either achieved through the global average or a percentage of the global leader. So what we are going to do in order to raise the global leader, we are going to acquire a ton of prestige intentionally by building up a huge navy. The second thing we're going to do is we are going to reduce the average by annexing small powers while trying to stay under 100 or 75 infamy. I mean, we shouldn't have let ourselves go in that way because we want Great Shing to stay in the customs union until we go full rampage. But this is going to be the strategy overall, and so we might go for annexing some of these guys who should now be our subjects. This type of thing, which is not too much infamy and cleans everything up a little bit. So I think this is what we're going to do while we kind of try and by doing this, we're going to reduce the average and hopefully decay them into minor power so that, we can subjugate them, which we need to do, or, well, we want to do. Technically, we don't need to do it, but they are part of the formable for Central Europe, which is the HRE if you're on monarchy, and so we want to subjugate them and a bunch of, Italians, and then reduce autonomy, form this, and then following that, form Rome. We pick up shift work, which is a pivotal tech, increasing the economies of scale building cap. This, combined with, of our eventual getting of Zeppelins, kind of really makes things a lot more globally oriented and less locally oriented. Now, it's globally oriented in the sense that at a certain point, you start caring less about local prices and you start caring more about economies of scale. So, for example, here, we are going to bring the tooling workshops up to level 51, and we do not need a level 51 on the tooling workshop workshops there locally. Instead, it's providing tools to everywhere inside of our market. And the reason we would rather build them here instead of where there's demand is, well, first of all, the labor's here, and there's also the inputs for tools here. But more importantly, we are benefiting a ton from economies of scale, which has increasing marginal returns. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to, everything that's at 31, kind of stuck in at 31, we are going to look at which industries have the best earnings of these industries, and then we are going to come in and find buildings that are level, 31 and bring them on up to 51 following, our getting of this tech, which is a very, very key one. We're going in on feminism next, maybe going multiculturalism, but also, well, actually, maybe feminism is not so important for us. Multiculturalism is really not essential at this point, especially with the migration changes of 1.5.5, which are going to be rolled back. Maybe we don't even really want feminism. We were just a token ally all this time. Okay, I guess we'll go for, maybe we'll go ahead of time for Zeppelins instead. Zeppelins is a really nice tech. We could, push for electricity, but electricity, while it's decent, is incredibly tedious. And so, perhaps save ourselves some sanity and go for Zeppelins instead, along with the globalization issue. Our expansion is starting to get global. We are annexing, little guys in India for now, kind of waiting for these guys to decay down. And let's take a look, hover, to see how much under they are in, or suit. So, oh man, they're just creeping up. We might have to take dirt from them. I don't know if, well, we have a ton of Navy in the queue. Why don't we wait and see, and Army in the queue? Why don't we wait and see if this really cranks up our prestige? We have a prestige of 3.3k. If we can get this up to like maybe 5k or something, maybe then this will force decay them. I'm not sure exactly, but if not, we might just have to take dirt from them, which is not ideal because this will require another 5 years worth of war and another 5 years worth of going on a rampage. A little bit of tedium here, but we are going to come into the transportation in local prices, which you can access. You can come into your market, you can sort by staple goods, and then you can see local goods. You just click on it, and what we are going to do is every single place that's blue, we are going to try and make sure that all the PMs for transportation are turned up, which will turn them more orange, which is going to be good for us. This will be like rails on a lot of these mines. Maybe we expand out some of the winery stuff, like I think southern Transylvania, like for example, we could expand out the vineyards. We could definitely use it in the silk plantations here, which is going to increase the price, and this is notably going to kind of help us to make better use of this company, which will give us, very importantly, an infrastructure bonus 5%, in addition to an industrialist approval bonus if we get the prosperity bonus. So that's kind of where we are on that. And also, the UK is transferring Van Diemen's Land, so we will get the full of Australia, if we have time to annex everything. And so, transfer Van Diemen's Land. Big nice. As expected, Qing does end up leaving the customs union. We waffled this a little bit at the start, not really appreciating that the United Netherlands was going to have such a big come up and decay from being a minor power, because we were expecting to get 100 infamy from this war. But now they are, they're below the threshold. Man, did the threshold lower by like 80 points? There's some weird stuff going on here, but we will be annexing. Oh, you know what? Did our prestige collapse? It was at like 3,500. Nope, it's going up. The prestige is going up quite well here. It was at low 3Ks, and we will just keep building more ships. We built a ton of shippies, and they're coming on up, and so as they recruit up, our prestige should just absolutely skyrocket. And of course, we are annexing these little boyos. Maybe the revolts are raising the average by adding additional countries, something like this, but we just hope we can keep them decayed for long enough to be able to start fighting them, and then once the devastation racks up, I imagine our war goal will be unlikely to get bricked, something like this. They might even back down, but we'll see how that goes. So we've done a pretty good job here reducing, the amount of blue, and so let's check in on the company. We're not quite at enough productivity. This is a bit unfortunate. Maybe this means that, hey, this productivity is coming back. Maybe this means that we actually want to, go for combustion engine, something like this. We're not going to, though. We also swayed, the US was going after Mexico, we swayed, we became their overlord, and so that's nice. We're going to try and annex them before we form the HRE, and then also, just wanted to give it a little bit of an update on the prestige. We're up to 4,100, so about 1k up from the start of this episode, and we went from like losing 500,000 to only losing 100,000, so, you know, we are cranking up at a decent clip, despite, you can see the dip here when Qing left our market, and I'm certain you can see a dip. Yeah, you can see a flattening of our, you know, pop growth, but we're still siphoning off from the EIC, the German East India Company, and so, you know, we should be in good shape. Kind of, yeah, made a little bit of mistakes in terms of, I don't think we should have gone this high infamy this early. Maybe we can get Qing back in the market temporarily, but we're really looking to get this, you know, this full annex war on the United Netherlands. They have been for some time now, you know, just barely under what they need to be a minor power, and so we're trying to, like, slip them under that. I think once war breaks out, they will probably be hard-pressed. They asked for a trade agreement earlier. We could have accepted and then, you know, gotten rid of it in order to damage relations more, but we're already damaging relations. We should get, you know, things kind of in a bad enough shape soon. The question is do we have to take a state off of them like Wallonia and then subjugate them, or will we be able to just straight up subjugate them? With this war, we will finish annexing all of the internal, you know, German East India miners. I mean, this isn't exactly the way we wanted to solve our problem, but France taking Wallonia and Flanders does solve our problem. We would just want to take, you know, Wallonia back from them at some point. It's a very strong state. It's really the premier state. In fact, if we could sway into this, you know, and just request Wallonia, which we can request a whole lot, but we can't request Wallonia, Flanders, West Java, or East Java. We could maybe try and request enough to knock them down low enough, and then go after them, you know, going after something like Gelre. We'll have to maybe take a look at that, because, I mean, is this enough? Probably not, to decay them. I mean, they're low enough to be decayed, but we maybe want to sacrifice, you know, accuracy and precision, or like having the absolute best possible outcome, and instead, you know, just have a fairly good outcome. So, not that we'll join France's side, because then we'll get a truce with them, but following this, we should be able to subjugate the United Netherlands. Well, I suppose this is one way for this not to work out for us, is, you know, the Netherlands somehow winning against France. We'll see what we can do. Man, well, will we? Alright, the time has come. We can stay below 100 infamy no longer. We are expecting cut down to size plays, everyone to join against us, and so we might as well go for broke, and we are going to do part of the goals for this run, and this is probably what this episode's going to end up being more about. We're going to subjugate Spain, which does mean we will now have, you know, 20 years before we can annex them, and we have to annex them before we form Rome, and so we're going to make Protectorate, and we're going to say the Rome's going to come in 20 years, just before the turn of the century, roughly speaking. And so we're going to Protectorate them. It's very unlikely they back down, you know, but we'll see what they do. Looks like everyone wants to join against us, so we will not put in a single other thing until, you know, really, really late escalation, waiting to see who's going to join against us. The UK notably can't join against us because we're on the same side of play as them, and, you know, neither can Colombia, but other than that, we are expecting a little bit of a dog pile coming. So in the play, we have joined against us, in addition to Spain's, you know, normal kind of subjects, the Papal States, who we will be subjugating, Russia, who we will be humiliating, the two Sicilies, who we will be subjugating, Morocco, and Tuscany. And so this is the first war. We are humiliating Russia because we don't want to have to deal with them joining every single play against us, especially because we can't lib targeted countries due to a bug in patch 1.5 unless we declare the war for the start, and so the juicy ones of like liberating Ukraine and Perm will not be available to us when they join, and so we will have at this war. It should be pretty easy. We have way more troops than everyone, you know, because we're just way bigger than everyone at this point. You know, look at our prestige, look at our GDP, look at Russia's GDP. Look at your GDP. Now look at me. Now look at your GDP. So basically, 10x the size, it should be an easy one. We get a nice bit of luck in that the Papal States, who is a war goal target, unified with two Sicilies kind of right before the war broke out, so that was lucky. I'm having a little bit of progress, or we are having a little bit of difficulty pushing into Russia, but to be fair, that's because a big chunk of our troops are over here, and of course dealing with Sicily, or the Papal States rather, and so we should be kind of winding this war up pretty quickly here, despite a little bit of a slow start, although we might have to land Russia in a particularly uncomfortable way. We'll see. Now let's take a look at this event. Up in the air, this is one I don't think we've seen that often, but plus 30 offense for 2 years. Versus, a little bit of approval and attraction for 2 years. We'll take the 30 offense for 2 years, given, current state of things, and we might be swaying into a juicy thing here with the radical or British liberal revolt. So we encounter a little bit of a bug that we've seen a few times in 1.5.5 beta. Just a friendly reminder, this is the beta, but, we can't occupy Toledo, which is the capital of Spain, because it's currently controlled by the French Empire. So, there's no way for us to enforce on Spain. We've enforced on everyone else, and so what we will be doing is we will be swapping sides to Spain, and we will be saying goodbye to all of our charts. When you swap sides, you lose access to all of this, but we are most assuredly beating Spain in this. Actually, you keep your population chart. Look at our crank up, how it's just slowed down as soon as, China left the market, but we will just say a fond farewell to the GDP graph because we will be losing it, and this is the soup that we're going to be swimming in because we're going to swap sides, capitulate, and then swap back. So this is the name of the game. We're going to switch sides, go to Spain. We're going to lose all the charts anyways when we become Rome, so it's not too big a deal. And so then we'll just say, hey, you know what? I don't think we can win this one. We will just capitulate. Sorry, sir. Of course the Hapsburgs are in charge. Still occupied by France, though. Very awkward. And then we'll just swap sides back to Germany. Which, of course, this also voids our ability to get achievements, but this wasn't an achievement run anyway, so it's really not a big deal. But most importantly what it does, it gets rid of all of our auto-expands. No! So, we'll just cry. Next on the chopping block, the EIC, which notably does have a chance of actually just capitulating. This is why we're actually bankrolling some of our subjects, so we can kind of get a higher chance at this chance, but, we'll just click this, and, unless we uber high roll to 3%, we get ourselves a little bit of a play, and so we will assign a whole bunch of guys to the front and get ourselves an EIC. Delicious pops. Free GDP. So nice. So nice and German here in India. We are going after Sardinia Piedmont, and the infamy count so far is 373. We have ourselves a war. This time, USA, France, Ottomans, Tuscany, and Greece joined against us. We put in Conquer New York, Tuscany Protectorate, Conquer Pennsylvania, which will have a nice company, and also Conquer Utah. It took quite a bit of fighting, but the war is mostly dusted up. Just France and the USA remain. France isn't putting up much of a fight now. We enforced on the rest of them, and we de-occupied Toledo. Thank God. Now Toledo will not be forever occupied by, France. Just a little bit of a push here. They're pretty willing to come to the table, or at least USA is, so I guess we're just kind of enforcing on France. USA is willing to capitulate everything, and France is, well, getting Franced. So here we go, and we conquer Pennsylvania, New York, Utah, among other things, and these guys are a major power, and they are no longer having their forever rev, so I think the next war is to go for them, take a big chunk out of them, probably declaring for Wallonia and then something else maybe, and, look to do this. Also, very notably, this is going to be just such a good province for us with the Statue of Liberty, giving the migration attraction. For whatever reason, it's not fully employed. Weird. And then for this one, we will have to upgrade the steel to level 10 in order to get access to the new steel company, or the Carnegie Steel, which gives, let's just come into the companies. Instead of iron and, lead here, we can instead slot in for iron, coal, and also steel. Let's pull up the company, and it also gives railway throughput. Very, very strong. Let's just, it's with the US one, so it's down here, close to the bottom. Here we go. Carnegie Steel, shipyards, railway building throughput, and it gives all three of these a little bit of construction bump. You know, we will be sacrificing lead for this, but it'll be good. We could have gone for maybe standard oil state, but not too big a deal. You know, poor America. You know what? I think their market capital is even in District of Columbia, so they're almost certainly going to rev off this. Wait, how do they have market access? Oh, through Tejas. Ah, that's fair. That's fair. I could appreciate a good Tejas, so... Yep, the U.S. has joined against us, and, oh, okay, well, that works. I was just about to say, we made a couple of these war goals primary. We have Wallonia and Flanders now without a fight, as well as one little snippet of territory over here. I think it's this one, German Central Java now, which notably annexed a country in its entirety, which will reduce the threshold. Now, unfortunately, let's take a look. Okay, their prestige is still too high. Maybe we should have released Java. Oh, man. But we wanted to annex Java too. This is not ideal. I guess we will have to keep annexing guys and keep increasing the stuff, which is unfortunate. Keep increasing the prestige, which our prestige count 6,500. We started with like 4K, and infamy count up to 571. So we're getting there. Neutral my ass. You're coming with us. Expel diplomats action, and then conquer East Switzerland, and hey, we will also put in conquer West Switzerland. Now, notably, since this is full annexing them, they will get, would be annexed if they back down, which makes them unlikely to back down, which is why we probably don't need to put this in as primary, and we will just wait as the Europeans attempt to dogpile us for annexing dear sweet neutral Switzerland. So we get a new company slot, and I think our Pennsylvania stuff might be done by now. It was in the queue. We see Skoda Works. Do we see Pennsylvania? This is another unique Austrian company that's pretty strong, the Galician Carpathian Petroleum Company. I don't think we're going to slot it in, but tooling workshops building throughput effectively makes it, if you already have a tooling company, which we do, this effectively is like an additional tooling company almost, and railway building throughput is quite nice. Of course, it is on, you know, the thing. Oh, we don't have it yet. It looks like they must be taking quite a bit of time to produce then. But once these finish, we will be able to slot in a very, very nice company. I guess for now, we will make do with Skoda Works, which I guess I don't hate. You know, front advancement speed. Maybe this is, well, I mean, obviously our eco is so big that nothing matters, so maybe this is actually what we want right now while we are going on a rampage. Surely nothing's better than front advancement speed when you're going on a rampage, right? Rampage! Ah, yes. It's a beautiful thing. German-occupied Great Britain. So that war's over. Time to annex the CSA. Let's just come in here, go annex subject. It'll be 56 infamy. Who cares? Infamy count is now up to 679. Yeah, even France and the UK combined aren't really going to be able to slow us down in the slightest here. You know, just pushing into them. We have, you know, put in some stuff on this. We are annexing the CSA, of course, conquering French low counties, because this is actually part of, you know, the HRE, and then transfer Mauritania, conquer Lancashire, and conquer British Guiana. We do have, you know, let's just like a lot of boyos on the fronts doing fronty things. And we have two landings coming in. We have a Savoyan uprising that we're going to put down pretty handedly, and we're not even... Sweden joined this war. We didn't even do anything on them. It looks like our vassals are just swarming them. So these fights, like... we have pretty... Ooh, I guess they got a little bit of fight left in them. They are leaving some guys behind, but of course they're getting pushed on the fronts otherwise, so, you know, maybe not the best strategy. It looks like our landers will just get reassigned. Ah, that's crazy. Our landings didn't work. Big Sag. But, like, we have, like, 90 on the advancement, and, like, look at this. This is 120k, so if they're defending against the landings, they're not defending on the fronts. If they're defending on the fronts, they're not defending against the landings. One of them's gonna fall, so just painting some occupation lines. Great Britain enforced red as I clicked record. Big sad. We could have seen both of them completely occupied, but do get Lancashire, and we'll very shortly enforce on France. I mean, come on, man. Give it up. You're full occupied. You're full occupied where it counts. We see little Spanish revenge. Hopefully that stays occupied forever, just like Toledo was. But these guys are on the verge of capitulation, and so the war is over. So we started play to annex Canada, or America's Hat. Really strong looking on this front. They don't have a lot of troops. Russia and both France and Russia joined against us, and we have begun the plan. What plan, you might ask? The encirclement plan, where we are taking Normandy, Picardy, Poitou, however that's pronounced, and Aquitaine. And of course, next time they sat against us, we will take Provence and Languedoc to completely encircle them. You know, they say that you can only do encirclements in Hoey 4. I disagree. They are definitely viable in Victoria 3 here. And Russia, we don't have anything in on them. The biggest thing is against Russia, you actually have to proactively start, at least on the open beta 1.5.5, which is releasing Ukraine and Perm. And so we would have to release all of the Caucasus states, you know, using 30 maneuvers a thing, and it's just not worth it. To the end of this rampage, we are actually researching multilateral alliances actively. The premier high infamy play tech, because it gives you plus 25 maneuvers, which is an additional province every time you capture a province. Yikes, our queue is empty, and it's huge, so 6k construction. The truth hurts, the construction queue hurts. Also, we hit 1 billion GDP. Of course, our graph doesn't look very nice anymore because we reset it, but big sag. Also, some of this stuff. Anyways. So this entire time, we have had such a hard time demarginalizing the trade unions, and we have been bolstering them. We really want to use get both their bonuses as well as, you know, use them to pass laws. And I think one of the reasons why is we have so many generals now that there's just absolutely an enormous amount of clout. You know, even if they're not max promoted, there's just so much clout in these boys that it's just, you know, if we take a look at what clout, you can see, look at all these plus percent. There's so much plus percentages that, you know, the group that would otherwise be really strong, the trade unions, because we don't have any generals, which is a bit of a catch-22. We don't have any generals in the trade unionists, specifically because they don't have enough clout to generate generals, and then we don't have any. Yeah, it's like, we can't generate clout because we don't have any generals, and we can't generate generals because we don't have the clout. And so even though we've been bolstering nearly this entire episode, they still haven't come up. Now, France is getting full occupied, so that's big nice. And Canada is getting full occupied, so also big nice. And Russia, we don't really care because Russia doesn't have any war goals on us, we don't have any war goals on them, so it really doesn't matter. So, yeah. We will be done with this war very, very soon. You know, having such a... Yeah, I mean, like, we're almost... man. So the problem is we still need to take the United Netherlands, but I do think... There it is. There's the minor power we were looking for, and they are decidedly amongst below it. Look, their current prestige is 301, which was above what, you know, the requirement was before. Now the requirement is 417, you know, and this is off the back of us, you know, eliminating a whole bunch of guys off the map, and let's take a look at some of this stuff. So now there's only 3 GPs, because we have increased the requirement. Great Britain no longer a GP. You know, none of these guys are GPs, and look at where the minor powers start. There's only 7 total major power pluses, and so this means we can protectorate with impunity. Of course, we will be protectorating the United Netherlands as soon as we can, and then 5 years after that, we will reduce autonomy, and then we will be able to form, you know, what is it, the HRE, rather. Also, just taking a look, we did pass Great Qing on the pops, and, you know, SOL's not looking so great. GDP looking fantastic. Here's the graph. UK doing surprisingly well, given the state of affairs, and, you know, just very, very productive rampage so far, overall. Still rampaging, obviously, when France is fully occupied. If you're happy and you know it, occupy France. I think we're going to conclude the episode here. It didn't quite go how we wanted. We wanted to kind of off the bat dominion the Netherlands or protectorate the Netherlands, and we still haven't done it. Instead, we've just gone on, you know, like a 20-year rampage or a 10-year rampage or so. Just for an infamy check, we are at 994 infamy, so if we declared any reasonable sort of play, we would get up to that full 1k, baby. And so, you know, it is what it is. You know, we annexed, we annexed the East India Company. We made Portugal a little bit more dominion. We unified all of Australia. We annexed the CSA. We annexed Canada. We subjugated Spain. We subjugated the Papal States. We subjugated Sardinia, Piedmont. We subjugated Tuscany. We started doing this to France. We did that to England. We transferred Mauritania. Overall having a good time. Great Qing has stayed out of it. You know, we were kind of hoping to maybe nab the Forbidden City off of them or something like this, but they haven't intervened in one thing. And so, yeah, today's been a rampage. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do the YouTube algorithm. And other than that...